In a world where satellites trace every flight, borders bristle with radar, and conversations vanish into the net of surveillance, one man slips away like a phantom. He doesn't just travel, he disappears. Each journey is a spectacle of secrecy, luxury, and survival, staged on the edge of power and fear. In an age of relentless surveillance, when every nation races to dominate skies, borders, and seas, Kim Jong-un emerges not only as one of the most enigmatic leaders on the planet, but as a ghost of geopolitics itself. He is not merely a head of state moving from place to place. Every trip he makes is a carefully choreographed performance, an extraordinary blend of military-grade security, excessive luxury, and psychological warfare. The story of how he travels, by plane, by armored limousine, by train, by yacht, or even through hidden tunnels, reveals far more than logistics. It reveals fear, obsession, control, and the art of vanishing in plain sight. When Kim Jong-un takes to the skies, he defies expectations. While other leaders prefer sleek, state-of-the-art aircraft fitted with modern avionics, Kim relies on Chamy 1, a Soviet-era IL-62M, a relic of the Cold War on the outside but a stealth fortress within. Outwardly, the plane looks outdated, even obsolete, but the illusion is deliberate. It is retrofitted with electronic countermeasures that scramble radar, confuse heat-seeking missiles, and jam surveillance systems. Its communication lines are encrypted, and its detection gear sweeps for foreign intelligence prying into its movements. Each time it lifts off, it is flanked by a squadron of fighter jets, an airborne shield no other leader employs outside of wartime. Inside, however, is a different world. Lavish conference rooms, private lounges, sleeping quarters, and Korean-style furnishings create a paradox, luxury hidden within an aging shell. But this paradox is intentional. By relying on an older platform, Kim avoids Western-made systems vulnerable to infiltration or sabotage. More importantly, the plane's unique profile makes it harder to track on systems calibrated for modern jets. Its unpredictability in the air creates an added layer of stealth. Rarely does Chamy 1 touch down at public airports. Instead, it lands at secluded military bases, its ground crews handpicked from the most loyal units. In a world obsessed with digital tracking, Kim's aerial strategy is rooted in analog deception. If the skies belong to his phantom jet, then the roads are dominated by his armored procession. At the center of this spectacle is the Mercedes Maybach S600 Pullman Guard, a $1.5 million limousine engineered as a survival capsule. It withstands high-caliber gunfire, explosive blasts, and even chemical or biological attacks. Its windows, so heavy with layered glass and polycarbonate, can only be moved with hydraulic assistance. The car is not just luxury, it is endurance encased in steel. Yet the car is merely the centerpiece. Surrounding it is a convoy of more than 20 vehicles, SUVs, tactical sedans, command centers, and jamming vans equipped with GPS scramblers that cloak his location. Entire roads are cleared, intersections locked down, rooftops secured by snipers long before the convoy arrives. The most surreal detail, however, is the team of running bodyguards, elite agents sprinting alongside the Maybach in perfect formation. Dressed in tailored suits, wired with earpieces, trained in martial arts and live-fire disarmament, they are not just theater. They are human shields. To outsiders, it may appear absurd, even theatrical. To Kim, it is the essence of control. Every step, every second, every exit and entrance is choreographed with military precision. Yet Kim Jong-un does not always move fast. Sometimes he chooses the slow, deliberate, steel-clad security of his personal armored train. Painted a dull green, it looks ordinary from the outside, but inside it is a fortress gliding on rails. Reinforced with armor and bulletproof glass, the train offers polished wood interiors, leather seating, and encrypted satellite communication systems that allow Kim to rule, command, and strategize without stepping off the rails. But the real secret lies in its layered defense. Kim's train never travels alone. The first train sweeps the tracks, scanning for explosives or ambushes with soldiers and electronic sensors. The second carries Kim himself, accompanied by aides, doctors, and advisors. The third follows behind, packed with commandos and logistical support, ready to respond to any emergency. To further reduce risk, the train crawls at slower speeds, often moving under cover of night. When it stops, its surroundings are instantly militarized, stations fortified with temporary perimeters, and in one extraordinary detail, The train carries its own helicopter, housed in a dedicated carriage, ready for evacuation if attacked. It is slow but impenetrable, embodying North Korea's philosophy, to survive at all costs. But survival is not only about armor, it is also about illusion. In the theater of North Korean security, the use of body doubles is as important as the armored maybach. Multiple individuals have been trained not only to resemble Kim in appearance, but to mimic his gait, his mannerisms, even the way he adjusts his jacket. Some reports suggest that doubles underwent surgery and conditioning to match his physique. The deception works because it is never just one man stepping out of a car or plane. It is convoys of identical vehicles, fleets of nearly identical aircraft, all departing simultaneously. Intelligence services may track one, only to discover the real Kim is already elsewhere. Public appearances have even featured doubles in Kim's place, while he remains safely behind closed doors. Facial analysis has caught inconsistencies in televised appearances, fueling speculation. The strategy is not just to protect him from attack, but to saturate intelligence with noise, creating an environment where no one can be sure of his true location. Beneath Pyongyang lies an invisible empire, a labyrinth of fortified tunnels and hidden pathways connecting palaces, bunkers, command centers, and even a private runway. These tunnels are not crude wartime shelters. They are military-engineered arteries of steel and concrete, built to withstand sieges, nuclear strikes, and insurrection. At their heart lies the Ryongseong residence, Kim's fortified estate northeast of Pyongyang. Beneath it is a bunker network with blast doors, filtration systems, and high-speed underground transport lines. From here, Kim can move to the airport or other undisclosed sites without ever surfacing. Some analysts estimate over $500 million has been spent expanding and maintaining these tunnels, even as sanctions cripple the country's economy. Yet for Kim, secrecy is survival. By rendering his movements invisible, he cultivates unpredictability, the myth that he can appear anywhere, anytime, without warning. Beyond air, land, and underground, Kim also commands the seas in defiance of global sanctions. His luxury yachts, British-built Princess 95 and Princess 98, are worth over $7 million combined. They reached North Korea through webs of shell companies, falsified shipping records, and foreign flags. Smuggled through ports in Asia under cover of night, the yachts now glide through restricted waters like floating palaces. Inside are mahogany lounges, contraband wine cellars, climate-controlled cigar rooms, and cinema suites. One yacht reportedly features a helipad and reinforced satellite communications, effectively turning it into an offshore command post. Operating costs run into millions each year, financed through offshore accounts tied to Office 39, Kim's infamous slush fund for illicit luxuries. During times of political crisis, when missile tests provoke outrage or rumors about his health circulate, Kim often disappears, only to reappear weeks later, relaxed and suntanned. His yachts are not mere indulgence. They are tools of mobility, secrecy, and power projection. At the center of all this is a security apparatus unlike any other. Kim's personal guard, drawn from the Korean People's Army, are trained not as ceremonial protectors but as lethal warriors. Judo, live-fire combat, counter-ambush drills, and silence under pressure are their core skills. They shadow him everywhere, on land, in the air, and at sea. Surrounding this inner circle is the Guard Command, a much larger force sweeping areas up to a kilometer in advance, scanning buildings, roads, and even underground. They control drones, electromagnetic jammers, and mobile command centers. Snipers occupy rooftops. Entire blocks are frozen. A South Korean defense report once estimated that Kim's personal security costs exceed $200 million annually, funded through secretive agencies and offshore assets. Most strikingly, no photos, no leaks, no details escape. Even senior officials often do not know Kim's exact movements. The secrecy is absolute. Yet behind the steel, deception, and spectacle lies the psychological core of Kim's rule. His convoys are not just about protection, they are about performance. Running bodyguards, elaborate motorcades, blocked roads, hovering helicopters, these are acts of theater. They broadcast omnipresence, invincibility, and immortality. In a nation starved of truth, the illusion becomes reality. The cost is staggering, tens of millions each year for domestic operations, hundreds of millions for armored vehicles, convoys, and security infrastructure. But the greatest cost is psychological. Kim Jong-un is imprisoned by his own myth. He cannot walk freely. He cannot appear unguarded. His survival depends on maintaining the fortress he has built around himself, physically and mentally. From air to land, from rails to sea, from the shadows of tunnels to the faces of doubles, Kim Jong-un's journeys are more than movements. They are demonstrations of control, performances of fear, and exercises in psychological warfare. He has turned the act of travel into an art form, the art of disappearing. In a world defined by visibility, Kim has mastered invisibility. He is everywhere and nowhere, untouchable not just by armor or guards but by uncertainty itself.